What's going on, guys? My name's Owen Schiff, and I want to welcome you to the first ever episode of Oh No Sports. On Oh No Sports, we're going to be breaking down everything Chicago Bears and everything NFL. This is your best place to find the best and latest NFL news and all my opinions and takes on different topics, on sports betting, and everything in between. Each week, we'll be doing a featured sport, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So, first off, without further ado, let's jump on into it. I'm from Chicago, so I'm a diehard Bears fan. I know we're not off to the best start of the season, but hey, it's looking up. We're looking right here today. Our first topic on Oh No Sports is the Chicago Bears 2024 draft possibilities. For all you Bears fans, you know that we traded for DJ Moore in the offseason. What you may not know is that we traded out of the first overall pick to get him. We moved back to 10. And now we're looking into the future at the 2024 draft possibilities. Currently, the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears are sitting at the two worst teams in the NFL. As unfortunate as it is for me to admit, that means we get the number 1 and 2 pick. If you keep up with college football, you know that Caleb Williams is a generational talent. And I'm going to sit here and tell you what I think, if I was the Chicago Bears GM, what I would do if I had the number 1 and number 2 pick, which currently that's where we're sitting at. So I think, first off, Caleb is a generational talent. There's no two ways about it. His mobility in the pocket, his ability to throw on the run, he's got every single tool in the book other than being a little bit undersized. But in my opinion, I don't think Justin Fields is the problem for the Chicago Bears currently. We have a lot of holes that we need to patch. And in my opinion, I think the best move for the Chicago Bears would be to trade away that number 1 overall pick. Look at what Bryce Young traded away for last year for the Carolina Panthers. That was a first-round pick swap and DJ Moore, who's a top-tier wide receiver 2, low-level wide receiver 1. That's Bryce Young. We're talking about Caleb Williams, a generational talent here. This is a special, special player that I think, although he would help the Bears, am I going to sit here and say that he would turn us into Super Bowl contenders? I don't think that's realistic. I think we keep Fields. We draft Marvin Harrison. That's one of his former teammates at Ohio State. He's a legend of a college wide receiver. His dad, obviously, Marvin Harrison Sr. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a big, lengthy target that would benefit Justin Fields and DJ Moore and the entire Chicago Bears offense. So, back to the first pick. If we trade out of the first pick, maybe we drop back to 8, 9, or 10, just like we did last year. But instead of just getting DJ Moore, now we're picking up maybe a high-end tackle that we need, maybe a defensive tackle. Our defensive line obviously just picked up Montez Sweat, huge move for us. But I do think we need to bulk up on both sides of the line in the trenches because at the end of the day, that's how games are won, and we're struggling there right now. We're not giving Bagent, we're not giving Fields much help, and I really do believe that if we could drop back from the first overall pick, trade Caleb Williams, even though he's a generational talent, and I know you guys may disagree, and I want you to say that in the comments because I'm interested on whatever you guys have to say, and I'm open to debate. But I think dropping back to 8, 9, or 10 and drafting a top-level talent at tackle or guard, like a Quentin Nelson, for example, out of Notre Dame on the Colts, would be a perfect move for our franchise and would move us 5 steps forward instead of 5 years back, which, as we know, Trubisky kind of did that to us, unfortunately. Now we'll talk about the most recent free agent moves. Obviously, Commanders, what the heck are they doing? I don't know. Because, like I just said, the game of football is won in the trenches. Chase Young, Montez Sweat, 2 guys, 2 10-sack-a-year guys that they just gave away for a bag of chips. I mean, they gave Montez Sweat away for a second-round pick. Okay, decent move, I guess. Giving away Chase Young, your number 2 pick, for a third-rounder is downright insane. And honestly, it's pretty laughable that they went from having Trent Williams and Chase Young as their number 2 picks in 2 years apart, and they ended up trading both of them for a combined 2 third-round picks and a 4th-round pick. I'm not going to sit here and say I do a better job, but I think I do a better job than that because we'd love to see a talent like that, Chase Young, not go to an already juggernaut defense like the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, they're pretty special. They've been struggling lately. Purdy's been struggling with the injuries on the offense, but Chase Young is a terrific move. And him, beside Nick Bosa, Teron Armstead, I mean, that's a special defensive front that I think could go very, very far in this playoffs. On top of that, free agent moves. For my Bears, as I said, Montez Sweat, great move. I think we gave up a second rounder, which is a bummer because we'd love to see us continue to build into the future. But a big positive of that is if we can sign him for next season, because obviously he's a big ticket. Right now he's got 6.5 sacks. I think he's top 5 in the league right now in sacks, and I know he's top 5 in QB pressures. He's been dominating the front for the Commanders all year, and it's a huge move for the Bears. Is it going to win us 10 games? Probably not, but I do think it will help us in the long run if we are able to sign him. Another huge move for the Bears, actually opposite of a move because they did not move on him from him, but is Jalen Johnson. I think he's one of the most underrated man corners in the entire NFL, and he's from Utah, a second-round pick from a few years back. I really think he's a terrific young talent that we need to hold on to, just like Jaquan Brisker. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments about Jalen Johnson, because I know a ton of Bears fans that were saying we should move on from him, we should get another second rounder, we should try and flip him for a first-round pick potentially, or a package second and third round. In my opinion, you got a guy. You got a guy who can play against every receiver in the league. You got a guy who can play both sides, zone and man coverage. I don't see why they would move on from him, and I'm pretty happy that they did not on deadline day. Next, we're going to jump into Will Levis. So, I mean, the rookie sensation out of Kentucky fell a bit in the draft. I think the Titans got a steal in this guy. Obviously, I'm jumping the gun, but he did throw 4 touchdowns last week, 65% completion rate. I think he had 130 QBR. That's a pretty great first outing. He's going tonight against the Steelers, at Steelers in Pittsburgh. It's a tough stadium to play in, as anybody knows. They got a tough defense. Mike Tomlin's a great coach. I'm looking forward to watching him play tonight. I really think he's a pretty special talent. He's got a really lively arm, and that offense just kind of fits for a quarterback like him. Bigger style, can kind of move around a little bit mobile, but doesn't need to be crazy, giving Henry the ball 15, 20 times a game. Elite receiver now in Hopkins. I think Treylon Burks is pretty special talent over there as well. I know Hopkins is excited about it. Haven't seen him excited in a few years. So I'm on the Will Levis train, and I want you guys to debate me in the comments because I'm on it, and maybe you're off it, and maybe it's just a one-game wonder. I don't know, but I'm on the train, and I think he's pretty darn good. Next, we're going to talk about O's best bets. I mean, how are we going to talk about football without talking about a little bit of betting? I'm a huge sports bettor myself, and these are my picks of the week. So my white whale play of the entire week is Dolphins money line plus 110 on the road in Germany against the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'll give you a little background on that. I think Jalen Ramsey coming back into that defense gives it a new structure that they haven't had before, because Xavier Howard originally was having to guard the number 1 receiver. Let's be honest, X is a great corner, gets paid a ton of money, but he's not good enough to guard the number 1. Jalen Ramsey brings a new 225-pound safety basically playing corner in that defense, and then that offense, I mean, Tyreek, he's unguardable. It's a revenge game for him. I really believe that the Dolphins win on Sunday morning. I know I'm going to be getting up for that game. It's about 9:30 my time. I'm excited for it. So that's my whale play of the week. Then tonight, as I said, I'm on the Will Levis train. So I like Will Levis over 203 passing yards, 203.5 passing yards, 202 and a hook, I should say, passing yards. And I think, yes, the Steelers, they're a good team, and they got a good defense, but Minka's a little banged up. Their secondary's a little banged up. They're a struggling franchise right now, and I think Will Levis is exactly what the Titans needed. I think King Henry opens up the passing game for him. He throws a few dump-offs, and then gets a deep shot into Hopkins like he did last week, and I'm pretty confident that he's going to throw over 200 yards tonight. And then my last play is an interesting play. I'm big into primetime games. I love watching primetime games when I got a few bets on the line. I think Jamar Chase is going to go off against the Bills. Obviously, hated to see Tre'Davious White injured a few weeks ago for the Bills. Another season-ending injury. That's his second year in a row. He's a special talent out of LSU, just like Jamar is, obviously. But I really believe Burrow found his stride last week. I mean, what was he, 27 of 32? He was really special. And the LSU boys down in the Bayou look like they can connect pretty easily, and I don't think they're going to have an issue at home against the Bills. I also like -2 for the Bengals. I would take the money line. It's probably around -135. I would take the money line. But my play of the week is another one of my 3 plays of the week. Obviously, Dolphins is the whale play. I love that one the most. But this is a fun parlay. Jamar Chase over 76.5 receiving yards, plus anytime touchdown. It's going to be roughly plus 115 on any American book. I know I took it, and I hope you guys do too. I would love to see you guys ride all 3 of these bets. I'm pretty confident that these 3 are going to slam, and they're all pretty good odds as well, all fair odds. So I'm excited to watch Will Levis tonight. And then if you love football, you're probably going to play fantasy. Let's be honest. I got a fantasy football sleeper that you would never, ever guess. So I got a question mark right here. How about this for a name? Brandon Aubrey. Does that ring a bell? Probably not, because he is not a receiver. He's not a quarterback. He's not a running back. He's not even on any defense. He is the kicker for the Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to guess you didn't know that he's available in 49.7% of leagues. He's currently only owned in 51.3%. He's the number 5 kicker in the entire league in fantasy. Bigger thing is he has not missed a single field goal this season. I mean, what more do you need to know for a sleeper? He's owned in 1/2 of leagues. I guarantee he's sitting on your waiver wire. You don't think about kickers, but then when they're putting up 11.3 a week, that surely helps you to the finish line. I know I'm in 3 leagues. I have him in 2 of mine. I would have him in the other, but unfortunately he's already picked up. But that's my fantasy football sleeper of the week. And yes, that's a sleeper because it's a kicker. And I know you can sit here and say, 6 points to 11 points. Well, last week I won my game by 0.12 of a point. Guess who was my kicker? This guy. Okay, last part of the segment is O's featured sport of the week. So we got a question mark up there right now. I know it's hard to read. NBA. The NBA is our featured sport of the week. And we're going to discuss a few points. So, first off, I just want to preface it by saying I am a huge LeBron fan. I've grown up a LeBron fan. I got the chance to meet him when I was 8 years old. Ever since then, I've been a huge LeBron fan. So, first off, let's talk about the King a little bit. I mean, he's 39 years old and he's doing this stuff. If you didn't get the chance to watch the highlights or the game against the Clippers, please watch at least his highlights. He put up 35, 12, and 7, forced the game into overtime, and eventually finished it out doing the look down, FU 3 in closing time in overtime. He's special. That slam dunk he had with about 1:20 left to put the Clippers away. I mean, you want to say he isn't the greatest player ever? I'm going to look you in the eyes and tell you you're wrong. And I want to see debates about this. I know this is the hottest topic in the world of basketball. I think LeBron James is the best player ever. It's just a fact that no one has ever had even close to the longevity that he has. He's now the number 1 leading scorer in the history of basketball. I mean, he's in year 21 for Christ's sake. He's been in the NBA for longer than he's been alive. Think about that. He's 39. He joined the NBA at 18 and has been in the NBA for 21 years, longer than he's been alive. I mean, it's crazy to think that he's been in the NBA longer than he hasn't been in the NBA in his lifespan. But, I mean, neither here nor there. He's really special. I don't know how much help that Lakers team's going to be for him. I don't know if he can play 35, 40 minutes every single night. AD's made of glass. I'll debate anyone on that all day. When he's healthy, yeah, he's great. When is he healthy? Very rarely. So I love the Lakers because of LeBron. I don't love the Lakers because I love the Lakers. I'm just a LeBron fan. I'm also a Bulls fan. Kind of got a tough showing. LaVine dropping 51 the other night, and the Bulls not winning was a huge bummer. The second thing I'll talk about, he's the talk of the sports world, Victor Wembanyama, 7'5" with a 7'6" reach. Like, he can dribble the ball. He can bring the ball up the court. He plays the 4. He's a special talent. He's 19 years old. I'm not going to sit here and say he's not. But if you haven't watched him play the Suns last night, they ended up squeaking out a win because KD got benched in the fourth quarter so they could rest him. They ended up catching up. Keldon Johnson played awesome, but neither here nor there. Wembanyama is special. I'm not going to say he isn't, but he is going to really, really struggle. Where he used to be a defensive presence in the French league, this is the big boy league now. And guys like Kevin Durant, they don't fall for that 7'5" long reach. And KD dropped 31 on his head last night. And I think when they meet a juggernaut with a center or a power forward like Giannis, like Embiid, like Jokic, I think he's going to get his lunch eaten. And it's going to be really humbling. But at the end of the day, he's 19. We haven't seen a talent like this in a very long time. I don't know if I ever have in my lifetime. He's pretty special. I'm excited about him. The whole league's excited about him. And then the last point about the NBA is the Harden trade. I don't really understand it. So, in case you didn't know, he moved to the Clippers from the 76ers. The 76ers moved on and said, see ya, James. He's reuniting with Paul George and Russ from their old-time OKC days. Personally, I don't understand how it's going to work with 4 ball handlers on the same court. At the end of the day, there is one ball. And I think the way Russell Westbrook is commanding the offense, last night he had 24, 12, and I think 7 and 12. He had 12 assists. I mean, he's athletic. He's playing well right now. I think, in my opinion, and I want to hear your guys' down low, so please slam the comments. Slam the like button. I haven't said that yet. Slam the like button. Please subscribe. I want to build this up as much as possible. Obviously, this is the first episode, but the first of many. So, back to Russ and James Harden. I think, even though they're best buddies, I do not think this benefits the Clippers in the end and does not pull them above and beyond the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are sky high above them. I think the Lakers might be above them. There's a lot of teams in the West that are, I think Kyrie healthy, the Mavs may be above them. I don't know. But either way, I do not think having 4 ball handlers in the same offense is beneficial. So I guess we're going to find out about that. And I guess we're going to find out about these bets of the week. Again, to run through one more time, my whale play of the week, O's whale play of the week, is the Miami Dolphins plus 110 money line on the road in Frankfurt, Germany against the Kansas City Chiefs. Jalen Ramsey's back. He's healthy. Tyreek, revenge tour game. Will Levis, the rookie, the kid, over 202 passing yards tonight and the hook. So 203. Praying we don't get beat by the hook. 203 passing yards tonight against the Steel Curtain. I think he can do it. I'm pretty confident in that. Then the fun parlay, 76.5 yards, plus an anytime TD from Jamar on Sunday Night Football, primetime. The guy's not scared of the big lights. He did it in the national championship. He can do it whenever he wants. He's one of the best receivers in the league. And then fantasy football sleeper. Do not forget about Brandon Aubrey, all right? If you don't have a good kicker in your league, pick him up immediately. If you do, he's probably better than the guy you got. So, again, this is Oh No Sports. It's the first episode. Thanks for listening. Smash the like button. Subscribe. Comment any takes you got. I'm more than happy to answer any questions or concerns you have or critiques, and I would love to debate you on any of the topics that we shared today. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.